Have you ever thought about keeping a moray eel in a community tank? It kind of sounds impossible, right? Many people believe these eels are very aggressive and territorial. However, I've been keeping my freshwater moray eel in a freshwater community setup for nearly 3 years now, and she has been thriving. So yeah, today I'm going to give you an exciting update on my freshwater moray eel. They're also known as the gymnothorax polyuranodons, and I'll share how I kept it happy and healthy alongside the other fish, and I'll highlight some fascinating behaviors that makes this eel one of my all-time favorite aquarium inhabitants. Now first, let's talk about this incredible eel, Gymnothorax polyuranodon. It's often called the freshwater moray eel, and it's one of the rare species that can actually adapt to fresh water, although there are many people who still keep them in brackish aquariums. However, for me personally, I've kept mine in a freshwater setup for 3 years, and she's been doing perfectly fine. She started off in the Roma 200, and then as she started to grow a little bit bigger, I moved her to my Roma 240. And yeah, like I said, both aquariums are fully freshwater, they are planted, and yeah, she's been thriving, man. Now, one of the main questions I get asked when it comes to my freshwater moray eel is whether this eel can live in a community setting, and my answer is you absolutely can, as long as you have the right tank setup and you choose the right tank mates. Now, I've successfully kept my moray eel with quite a few different fish. While she called the Roma 200 her home, I've had it in there with Congo tetras, rainbow fish, African butterfly fish, Synodontus petricolus, rope fish, alongside a few other things. And in the aquarium where she's currently, I've got her in there with archer fish, a fire eel, botiolochus, a stormy catfish, a pleco, a giant armored shrimp.
Oh wow, I forgot to mention my snakehead gudgeon and my ghost knife. My bad.
Now, the main thing that all of these fish have in common is their size. They are a decent size, they're boisterous fish, and they can mainly look after themselves, which is so important if you're trying to create a community aquarium with a freshwater moray eel. Long story short, anything that can fit in the moray eel's mouth will end up as a snack. And sometimes even things that are slightly bigger can also end up as a snack. So the type of fish you kind of want to go for are bigger fish that have a bit of a boisterous personality. Yeah, the key is avoiding smaller fish that might look like snacks and ensuring enough space for everyone to establish the territories. Now the thing is, my eel is surprisingly chill. I mean, in the Roma 240 I have a few botiolochus which could technically be considered snack size. However, my moray eel, her name is Lily by the way, she is so humble, she does not touch anyone, and yeah, she's just a very humble eel. She spends most of her time resting in her cave, and then of course at night time she also goes exploring a little bit, but once again she does not seem to attack anyone. Now if I had to guess, I feel like it's because I've got a lot of hardscape and hiding spots, which not only keeps the stress levels down, but it also ensures a harmonious environment for all of your tank inhabitants. Right, before we carry on, for anyone who hasn't seen my last few videos, I do have a really cool announcement for you guys. So over this past year, this channel has been growing beautifully, and I wanted to do something special for you guys to give back, and this is what I came up with. So on the 7th of December I'm going to be at Fish Planet, and on the 14th of December I'm going to be at Wholesale Tropicals in Bethnal Green, and I'm going to be at both places from 1 till 5 p.m. So this is how it's going to work. I'm going to put £100 of my own money behind the tills, and I'm going to print out 20 small tickets, and for the first 20 people who show up to the store on that day and show me that they're subscribed, I'll give you that ticket, and you can use that to get £5 off whatever you like in that store. So yeah, once again, I'm going to be at Fish Planet on the 7th of December, and I'm going to be at Wholesale Tropicals on the 14th of December. So yeah, if you're free, come down, say hi, and let's chill. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the specific behaviors of this eel though, because there's one thing that is, I don't really know how to explain it. It's really cool to see, but it's also so frustrating. And that's the way she builds her caves. With all of the hardscape I've added like rocks and driftwood, the eel loves to dig underneath and create its own caves. I'll admit, it can get messy. Every few days I find piles of substrate moved to new spots, like it's redecorating. But this behavior is part of what makes them so so fascinating to watch. If you're planning to keep one, make sure your tank layout is sturdy, because this little construction worker will test your setup. And yeah, it really is fascinating to see. I mean, I've got some literal fake caves in the aquarium, but she seems to prefer the natural caves that she created herself much more over the fake caves that are bought from pets at home. Now, as I mentioned, it does get really messy because of the substrate. When she digs her caves, you can just see a big cloud of dirt that comes up, and all of that dirt goes all over the plants. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that part can be really frustrating to deal with. It's like sometimes I come downstairs in the morning and I can just see all of this dirt that is everywhere, and I just know that my Moray eel had a little rescaping session in the aquarium at night. And yeah, I thought I'd just mention that if you are thinking of getting a Moray eel, just be prepared that there is a chance that they will try to rescape the aquarium. Now, I should mention, I did not have this problem in my Fluval Roma 200. There she chilled in one of the fake caves, and she seemed to be perfectly happy with that fake cave, spending majority of her time in there. That digging behavior only really happened when I moved her to the Roma 240, which is weird because I literally have the exact same cave that she used in the Roma 200 in the Roma 240, but still she decided to dig her own caves instead of using the fake cave. But anyway, let's move on and talk a little bit about the growth. Now, when I first got this eel, I'll be honest, I did not actually measure the eel. However, comparing the footage from the first few days to now, 3 years later, yo, she has at least doubled, maybe even tripled in size. Her patterns have become much bolder, and her activity level is as high as ever. Now, the feeding has also been very straightforward. Unfortunately, she does not go for any of the dry food, so she doesn't touch the Tetra Color Crisp or even the carnival pellets that all the other carnival fish seem to enjoy. However, when it comes to actual meaty stuff like shrimps and bloodworms, she eats them up straight away, and she never really rejects food. So yeah, although the feeding is a bit more specialized because you have to prepare the shrimps and things like that, it's still very straightforward because she eats them up as soon as you put them in the aquarium. Now, one thing I should mention is do keep in mind that eels are blind. I hand feed my eel, so all of the food I put in, I literally put it right in front of her face so she can get to it straight away. If I do drop it all on the floor, she does get some of them as well, of course, but then all the other fish also take them, like my stormy catfish or my ghost knife. So yeah, at the start when the eel was still fresh, if you do have it with tank mates, I would say try hand feeding them first so you can make sure that they get a decent amount of food, because yeah, once again, if you have an active aquarium like I do, there's a good chance that the other fish will go for the food and steal some of your Moray eel's snacks. Oh, I guess I should also mention I feed my Moray eel about 3 times per week or every 2 days, and yeah, that feeding pattern seems to keep my Moray eel nice and healthy. Now, apparently once these eels have established, they are quite hardy. However, for me personally, I don't really want to take the risk, so I try to stay on top of the water quality at all times. I do a small water change every 2 weeks, and then about every month or two I do a big water change where I take out about 40% of the water. And yeah, that schedule once again has been keeping the water levels nice and clear, and it's been keeping my fish nice and healthy. But yeah, over the past 3 years, this eel has been one of the most rewarding creatures to keep. She's not just fascinating to watch, she has a surprisingly cool personality. I mean, during feeding time, she always comes out, or even when I'm nearby, she pops her head out and says hello. And sometimes when I put my hand in the aquarium, she does like to swim around the hand and that. And yeah, I'll be honest, I do feel like I have a genuine bond with this eel. Oh yeah, fun fact, these eels can live for over 10 years in captivity, and honestly I can't wait to see what other natural behaviors I get to witness with this eel. And yeah, that was my update on my freshwater Moray eel Lily. Now, if you are looking to keep a freshwater Moray eel yourself, I have made a complete care guide where I talk about everything that I've learned and everything that I do to keep this eel nice and healthy and happy. And if you want to check out that video, then click right here.